bouquet that I picked this week. Isn't it lovely? Hey everyone, my name is Taryn and thank you so much for stopping by my channel, Nicole Flower House. Today I have quite a few maintenance and chores to do in the garden, so I thought I would just take you along as I get that done. On this pepper bed right here, I really need to get some support on these peppers. They're getting pretty tall. I'll probably just put some string line across these hoops all the way down the bed this way to kind of hold them in and prevent them from falling over. I'm getting some really good growth on these eggplants in the middle. They still have flea beetles on them and they're still getting a lot of damage, but it looks like they're doing okay. And so hopefully I'll still get some fruit on those. I believe these are sweet pickle peppers, and I've got a ton of fruit coming on those. I have some other peppers coming on too. These ones on the end are called sweet corbaci. This kale on the end here and this tall white fluffy marigold variety is doing really good. We can cut some of these today. From my transplanted eucalyptus last week, 2 of them have taken and 1 of them did not make it. So I'll be taking that out. The Tom Thumb tomato seems to be doing okay. The little winterberry plant down here got a lot of sunburn, so hopefully he'll rebound and make a comeback. Have a nice pretty blue bachelor's button down here in the corner. So here are my pumpkins and squash. Now, I am going to replant some of these today. I do have vine borer damage on these right here. A lot of my squash and pumpkins have that. You can bury that spot in hopes that your vine will reroot right there. And also I'm gonna let this try to reroot in the ground that it's trailing on. I'm also going to plant some new seeds of these varieties as a backup. We'll have to hope that the seeds will have enough time to produce fruit before our first frost. The tomato rows are doing well. A lot of these need tied back up. They've fallen over, like this guy. So I'll be tying tomatoes and also looking for any damaged foliage or fruit to prune off. Been having a lot of trouble with caterpillars eating into my tomatoes. So I've been trying to look for those caterpillars, pull off the damaged fruit. The Desdemona rose right here has new growth on it and looks good, but it does need more mulch, so I'll be adding some leaf mulch to the bottom of this bed. These pepper plants here are also very tall, so I'll be doing the same string line corralling method along this bed to keep them from falling over. Look how gorgeous this dahlia is. This bed is mostly Swiss chard, dill, and basil. And finally, I'm starting to get some flower spikes on my opal basil here. So that'll be fun. Here's another one. This cucumber right here has learned to climb the trellis, so it's on its way up to the top. There's a lot of fruit coming on, so that's exciting. Here's some more. I've been wanting to make some refrigerator pickles, and here's some dill right here. Isn't that perfect? And some marigolds at the bottom. This cucumber down here is also doing quite well. The eucalyptus at the end of this bed is holding on nicely. And the perennials that I planted are doing well. They haven't established yet. They're still just kind of sitting there, but they look good. Got a few stalk left on the end, not too many left. Strawberry Hill Rose is finishing up a bloom cycle, but there's also still buds on it. We're gonna get even more blooms, so I'll be pruning the dead blooms off today to help those other buds thrive and look their best. Have some more dill here on the end. This kale plant next door to the rose is flowering. So I wonder if I'll be able to get some seeds off of this one. The last one that I was saving that had flowered had gotten infested really bad with aphids, so I had to take it out before I could get the seeds off of it. I have a lot of parsley that has gone to flower, so I love these. I leave a lot of them for pollinators, but I also like to take them in for my cut flower arrangements. This marigold here should be blooming soon. Here's one bloom on it, a nice pretty orange. It looks like I have two plants right next to each other because here's a yellow one, but unfortunately this one has been taken out by the cucumber plant. The cucumber grabbed onto that one and broke it, so I'll just prune that one back. Give this orange one some more space. And here's the dill that I pruned back last week. It's looking a little brown and toasted. I don't know if that's just the weather or if I cut too much off of it, but we'll see if that branches and rebounds. I'm thinking this bed right here, I might put some perennial herbs like thyme and oregano to spread across this bed. I think that would be really pretty. Dahlia on the corner looks gorgeous with all its white blooms. Here's this really pretty rust colored dahlia right here. Has a nice pom-pom shaped flower on it. The rest of this bed I want to clean up today pretty significantly. There's some stalk and the onions are probably going to come out. The Dara is still doing very well, producing lots of blooms. And then just on the other side of that, the snapdragons look good, but there is a ton of caterpillars in these. And these are starting to feel the heat probably. They're more of a cool weather variety. So I think what I'm going to do is prune all of these down, take them out and see if they rebloom or not, if they branch off and send up new spikes. If they do, that's great, and I'll take another round of snapdragons. Otherwise, this is probably the end of these. We're definitely in the heat of summer right now, and the seasons changing and affecting what flowers are performing their best is just part of having a seasonal garden. You just kind of go along with what's thriving. pests will definitely tell you what plants are struggling. So I know the snapdragons are struggling in the heat, and that's okay. That's just part of the changing seasons. This will also give me a chance to redo the wire mesh I have on here and kind of change up my strategy with how I use this to see if I like the new way better, which would be leaving a gap at the bottom so I can get my hands in there and cut the flowers easily. These celosia are super tall now and definitely need some tying up or some corralling to help support them, or they are going to be toppling over soon. I love these muted pink colors that I have this year. I still have some of the very bright ones that I had last year, which I also really like. And this pink and white mixture of cosmos and zinnias over here is just so pretty. Now this cosmos is super tall. I do have it tied up all the way down here, but I'm thinking it's going to need something else, some kind of staking. So I'll need to figure that out at some point as well. My comeback rose down here on the end is still looking really healthy. The foliage looks good and it has new growth. I think it likes all the new space it has, but this kale is trying to encroach again, so we'll prune this guy back. I'm still anxiously awaiting this bloom right here to open up because this dahlia has not flowered yet, so I'm excited to see what variety it is. This bed could also use some corralling. Yeah, I've had this one tied up right there, but it has fallen. Everything is just growing super tall and lush now and really needs a lot more support than I've given it. Next year, I'll definitely be using the wire mesh on all of my beds. The Love in a Puff vine is trailing very nicely. There's a lot of weeds in this bed I need to get out. But here are the sunflowers, still progressing along. This winterberry plant here also has a little sunburn on it, but hopefully it'll bounce back. The new Snow Puff Cosmos seedlings are starting to get their first set of true leaves. And what I mean by true leaves is that this leaf right here is characteristic of the plant. It's the second set of leaves. This first one right here in the back is what comes off the seed when the seed emerges. So this first set of true leaves here, you can tell, looks like a cosmos. You know, here's a more mature plant, and so you can tell that the leaves are similar to those. This zinnia bed looks nice now that I've given it a rest and have stopped cutting on it. So maybe we will have some zinnias out of this one before the first frost. This frosted explosion is still one of my favorite new discoveries this year. Look how fun these are. I love these. And it looks like this plant in the front is going to bloom soon, and there's a bud there. This one also has a bud on it. So we'll get to see those, hopefully in the next couple videos. This garden bed was kind of a failure this year. There's still some celosia here on the end that looks okay. The soil in this bed is brand new. It needs time for the soil microbes to do their job and really add some nutrition and health to it. So I'll try again next year. This one's kind of in the same boat. The zinnias are being troopers and really pressing on, but this soil could use some aging as well. And after this most recent rain we had, the gomphrena has really taken off. They're so cute in cut flower arrangements. They just add a little bit of texture, a little bit of whimsy. And the color palette on these lavenders and purples is just so awesome. And of course, I have to have white. These are hollyhocks in the front. I've never grown those, so I don't know what to expect. The seed packets look gorgeous, but I'm not sure if I'll get any flowers or not. This dahlia in the corner back here might be the first one that I get a bloom from of the dahlias that I planted from tubers. And luckily enough, the variety on that one is Wizard of Oz. How funny is that? So maybe we'll get a comparison after all on our Wizard of Oz dahlias. Now here's the Wizard of Oz dahlias that I had in the other front bed. They do have some more blooms on them. These are beautiful as well. Ugh, look at all these weeds that are already back. I'm still waiting on a chip drop to come. Usually it doesn't take this long for me to get one, so I might have to pull some weeds again. These sweet peas over by our fence and the water barrels are long past their prime, but I did notice that some of them have these little pods on them, which I guess makes sense because they're peas, but sweet peas are grown for their flowers. But I was kind of hoping these would produce some viable seeds for me. So I'm gonna let those develop and dry out and we'll see what happens. I actually have a small garden in the front of our house too, and I just kind of forgot about all these flowers, but I'm gonna cut these and make a bouquet. They're probably a little spent, but they're gorgeous, so I'm gonna use them. Some of the petals are damaged and everything, but it'll be perfect for my kitchen table. And these little pod things, I'll put up on the screen what this is. These are really neat. This is the first time I've grown these this year and I like them. Anything that adds texture and a unique shape to your bouquets just makes them a lot more interesting. That is all for today's video. I hope you had fun coming around the garden with me and doing my chores. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. The best way you can support my channel is to subscribe and share my videos with your gardening and flower loving friends. See you next week. Bye. I can't wait to put this on my kitchen table.